The hidden cause of chronic illness in America. An unconstitutional law passed in 1996. America leads the world in chronic disease, neurological disorders, metabolic dysfunction, and cancer rates. While many point to diet, genetics, or environmental pollution, the real underlying cause has been strategically hidden from public discussion. A single unconstitutional law passed in 1996 that set the stage for America's health crisis. That law is Section 704 of the Telecommunications Act, signed by President Bill Clinton, which silenced communities, stripped local control over wireless infrastructure, and ignored the growing scientific evidence on the dangers of wireless radiation. Only a president can undo this crisis. A president created this health disaster by signing Section 704 into law, and only a president can fix it by repealing Section 704 and restoring constitutional rights to challenge dangerous radiation exposure. Wireless technology is not inherently dangerous, but the unchecked, unregulated expansion of radiation-emitting infrastructure is. Without accountability, the industry has placed powerful cell towers near schools, homes, and public spaces, exposing millions of Americans to chronic low-level radiation. The result? A congressionally mandated health catastrophe that continues to worsen every single day. Section 704 remains in place. The constitutional crisis. Why Section 704 violates the First and 10th Amendments. First Amendment violation. Section 704 makes it illegal for citizens to challenge cell tower placements on health grounds. This is a direct suppression of speech and public participation in policy decisions. 10th Amendment violation. Section 704 strips state and local governments of their power to regulate the placement of wireless infrastructure, centralizing all control in the hands of the FCC, a captured agency run by industry insiders. Unconstitutional overreach. By eliminating local control, Congress handed telecom corporations total authority over radiation exposure levels, bypassing the fundamental checks and balances of federalism. A federal law that silences speech and eliminates local government power is a direct violation of the U.S. Constitution. The science-proven health effects of wireless radiation. Neurological disorders, ADHD, autism, and cognitive decline. Calcium ion channel disruption. Studies confirm that wireless radiation disrupts voltage-gated calcium channels, critical for brain function. ADHD and autism peer-reviewed research shows a strong correlation between RF exposure and increased rates of ADHD and autism, memory and cognitive issues. Long-term wireless exposure has been linked to memory loss, learning difficulties, and early-onset neurodegeneration, cancer and cellular damage. The National Toxicology Program, NTP study. A $30 million federally funded study found clear evidence of cancer in rats exposed to cell phone radiation. Oxidative stress. Wireless radiation exposure triggers DNA damage, oxidative stress, and accelerated aging. Brain tumors. The Interphone study found increased risk of glioma, a deadly brain cancer, in cell phone users exceeding 30 minutes of use per day. Metabolic and reproductive disorders. Diabetes and obesity. RF radiation has been shown to interfere with insulin signaling, increasing diabetes risk. Infertility. Multiple studies confirm that wireless radiation reduces sperm quality, motility, and egg viability. Hormonal disruptions. Wireless exposure alters the endocrine system, affecting testosterone, estrogen, and thyroid function. Congress may have ignored the science, but the data is overwhelming. Wireless radiation is harming public health. The timeline: wireless expansion and the rise of chronic disease. 1996. The Telecommunications Act is passed, shielding telecom infrastructure from health-based objections. 1999 to 2005, rapid nationwide expansion of cell towers, Wi-Fi, and 3G networks. 2000s to present, explosive growth of smartphones, Wi-Fi in schools, and 4G/5G networks. 2000s to present, autism, ADHD, cancer, diabetes, and neurological diseases skyrocket. This is not a coincidence. This is a direct result of unchecked, unregulated wireless radiation exposure. Regulatory capture. How the FCC became a telecom puppet. The FCC is staffed by former telecom executives, ensuring that industry profits are protected at all costs. Public Law 9602, which mandates continuous research into radiation safety, has been ignored. Congress enabled the suppression of the National Toxicology Program's findings, proving wireless radiation causes cancer. Local governments have no say in protecting their citizens from harmful radiation exposure, thanks to Section 704. This is not just regulatory failure, it is regulatory corruption. Solutions: the path to ending America's chronic disease crisis. Step 1. Repeal Section 704. Restore the right of local communities to challenge cell towers near homes and schools. Force Congress to recognize public health concerns related to wireless exposure. Step 2. Enforce Public Law 9602. Restart the National Toxicology Program's research. Mandate that the FDA and FCC update radiation safety standards based on modern science. Step 3. Demand safer technology. Invest in Li-Fi, light-based wireless technology to replace microwave-based networks. Push for space-based telecom systems to reduce ground-level RF exposure. Advocate for interferometric antennas that minimize user exposure. Wireless technology should evolve safely, but Congress made sure it didn't. Final thoughts. Holding Congress accountable. Wireless radiation is not just a technological side effect, it is a legally protected hazard forced upon the American public. Congress created the chronic disease crisis by law, and only Congress and a president can reverse it. Congress ensured that local governments couldn't challenge dangerous cell tower placements. Congress ignored federal law and suppressed critical health research. Congress allowed the telecom industry to expand without accountability. This is a government-mandated epidemic, and it's time to fight back. What you can do: join the movement to repeal Section 704, spread awareness using #TrumpRepeal704, demand that Congress and the White House take action, repeal Section 704, enforce Public Law 9602, end the wireless radiation cover-up. Our health, our children's futures, and our constitutional rights depend on it. Visit RF Safe to learn more.